He shoots faster than the arrow. It's Speedy. I mean Arsenal. Hey, what's happening, gamers? I'm Kwing, and welcome to another LEGO Batman 3 lore video. Before we get started, though, don't forget to show your support by hitting that like button. It's really important and tells me you want more of this lore-centered stuff. Okay, so the Arsenal minifigure is also part of the Arrow DLC. He wears red and doesn't shoot people in kneecaps and has the same powers as, Arrow, though he's red. And I think he's much cooler. Anyway, here's a quick history on Speedy, what Roy Harper was originally called. He first appeared in 1941, More Fun Comics, and he was a clone of Dick Grayson, aka Robin, who released in 1940. As Arrow's sidekick, Roy Harper was given the name Speedy because he could draw his bow faster and shoot faster and pretty much do everything faster than Oliver. Roy was one of the first members of the Teen Titans with Dick Grayson, Donna Troy, Wally West, and Aw-Qward. Garth, I think, I always forget his name. They had some pretty wild adventures together. He also dated Wonder Girl Donna Troy. During a team-up book with Green Arrow and Hal Jordan, which is award-winning, by the way, it's discovered that Roy is a junkie. His drug addiction causes a falling out with Oliver Queen and the rest of the Titans, though his pal Dick Grayson never gives up on him. For a time, Roy actually lives on the street and then goes to rehab. In the 1980s, he returns and becomes a counselor for kids suffering from drug addiction. Later, he falls in love with a villain named Cheshire, or whatever, and they have a little girl named Leanne. Roy later returns to the Titans, but like Nightwing, takes on a brand new identity, Arsenal. Then the crazy 0 years stuff happens with Adam becoming a teenager, and well, you remember all that weird stuff. Meanwhile, the original 5 Titans were brought together by an alien to go fight some intergalactic threat. The older Titans become known as just Titans and are pretty awesome and unbeatable. They remain a team until graduation day in Young Justice, when of course Donna dies. Nightwing then disbands the team because he doesn't want to bury any more friends, and Roy is like, we can't really disband, we're awesome. But, he's like, fine, you quit, Mr. Quitter, I'm gonna create a new team. That of the Outsiders, where Roy becomes a leader, and he's not the best leader. He puts together a team of strangers rather than that of friends, so they don't have an emotional connection and they can work better together. Later, he recruits his best friend, Dick Grayson, to lead the team as Nightwing, though eventually he becomes leader when Nightwing leaves to go do some Gotham stuff and deal with some things that Nightwing's dealing with, like Barbara in a wheelchair and Gotham going crazy with No Man's Land, etc. Outsiders mostly do government operations and fought old Titan foes like Brother Blood, Deathstroke, Rillick Rod, and some other stuff. They also assisted the Titans during Infinite Crisis against Superboy Prime, but that didn't go very well. They disbanded during the 1 year later series, and Roy is accidentally called Red Arrow by Hal Jordan with his Splinter Justice League, meaning Green Lantern's little Justice League, because there is no Justice League anymore. After the events of Battle of the Cowl, Nightwing, as Batman, then leads the new Justice League with Donna Troy. Not long after this, Roy and Oliver actually patch things up and start working together, kind of, while they're not fighting as much. Sadly, not long after this, during Final Crisis, Roy has his arm chopped off by Prometheus, who's now super awesome, and Leanne, his daughter, is killed by the Electrocutioner. Yeah, that guy that Batman kicks in the face and knocks out in one hit. After waking up in the hospital days later and missing his arm, Roy plans to get vengeance for his daughter. However, he learns that Ollie already destroyed Prometheus. In a super extreme rage state, Roy takes the name Arsenal again, breaks ties with his friends, and then gets like this weird knife, like cybernetic arm or something. He breaks into jail where the Electrocutioner is and tortures him to death, I think. He then returns to drugs. Eventually, Grayson, as Batman, finds him in an alleyway and helps his old friend to a rehab center and tells him, I'm never gonna give up on you and I'm never gonna stop being your friend. And Roy's like, I'm sorry, though he's pretending to be alright and secretly talks to a cat like it's his daughter. Eventually, he breaks out and meets up with his old wife, Cheshire, who begs him to join Deathstroke's Titans. Roy goes and, becomes a bad guy for a little while, sort of, although I don't really understand if he was or not. He gets back together with his wife too, and they're promised by Slade to use a Lazarus Pit type device to bring back their daughter from the dead. Roy, along with Jericho, who's resurrected by his father, are able to stop Slade and his Titans with the other Titans and then form a new group of Titans, and Flashpoint happens, where Roy is working for Oliver Queen Industries, and he's killed as part of a strike team trying to take on either Atlantis or Wonder Woman's Amazons, I forget. In the New 52, Roy works with Jason Todd and Starfire as a group of outlaws in the DC Universe. Originally, he was best friends with Dick Grayson and the Titans, Gar, Tempest, Lilith, and Victor Stone, so Cyborg, but he and Star actually lost their memory because of something. I don't really remember what it is. Jason becomes their only friend and leader of the Outlaws. In this universe, he has no daughter or love interest, and he's a recovering addict. Also, he and Jason fight over Starfire's affections, which is weird. He also has a lighter personality and wears baseball caps, like a different one every issue, and has lots of tattoos. Now, Roy had a much bigger role in the Young Justice cartoon series, which Cartoon Network canceled. In it, Roy was older than the other sidekicks, and he had the name Speedy. During the first episode, they're taken to the Hall of Justice, the sidekicks, where they think they're gonna get like some type of thing that's gonna give them access to the Justice League, and they're becoming full-time members. And that's not true. They're being brought to the League just to check out the Hall of Justice or something, and they're all ticked off. But Roy especially is mad because he knows that the Justice League have a space station called the Watchtower, and he quits Green Arrow and becomes his own solo hero. He also doesn't join Robin and Aw-Qward's special ops team called Young Justice. Later, he becomes Red Arrow and keeps an eye on Green Arrow's new Speedy, who goes by the name Artemis. Occasionally, he helps his friends, and later, at the end of the series, he learns that he was the Light's mole and a clone of the original Speedy. In Season 2, he's married to that Cheshire chick, I could never say her name, and has a daughter. He also goes to search for the original Speedy and becomes obsessed with it. His health gets all messed up, he looks really disheveled. He also rips a lot of ties with friends and family, Black Canary, Arrow, etc. Eventually, he does find the original Roy Harper and tries to help him. The real Roy takes the name Arsenal, has one arm, and goes insane. He basically tries to kill the people who harmed him like Lex Luthor, and eventually gets a cool robot arm. The difference between this Roy and the comics Roy Harper is similar to what happened to Spider-Man and Marvel with his clone in the 90s. See, something happens where Peter Parker has to retire, he lives with his wife, and just tries to get on with his life when Ben Reilly, the clone of Peter Parker, takes over as Spider-Man. So in Young Justice, Red Arrow retires and raises his daughter and, is with his wife and just gets a normal life, whereas Arsenal, the real Speedy, not the clone, continues the fight in his stead. Now, as for the Arrow show, in the series, Roy is a thief who eventually starts dating Arrow's sister. Roy is a super fan of Arrow, like super obsessed. Think Buddy from The Incredibles. I work alone, Buddy. So during season 2, he gets abducted playing hero and dressing up like a vigilante and injected with a superhuman serum like Deathstroke. Arrow offers to train him to help him, get used to all these powers and to keep his emotions under control. And Roy learns the Hood is really Oliver Queen and joins Team Arrow. At the end of season 2, he helps Arrow save the city and stop Slade Wilson. But he gets dumped by Oliver's sister, Thea. So, romance is dead if you're a superhero. Season 3, he goes by the name of Arsenal and wears the costume that you see before you. Other appearances worth noting, he is the only former sidekick to appear in Bruce Timm's Justice League series, or the Timverse, due to the Titans and Bat embargo preventing Nightwing and other Titans from making a cameo, minus that one thing where Nightwing appears as a shadow figure in Bloodhaven. Anyway, in the episode, he teams with Oliver to stop a superpowered General Eiling in Patriot Act, I think. His appearance is like an older version of Speedy from the Teen Titans series that he guest starred in a few times and wasn't really an official member, creating a connection of the two shows, kind of. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is pretty much all I have to say on the subject of Speedy, Arsenal, and Red Arrow. Sorry for the delay of lore stuff. I am a Batman expert, not DC. So these things, they take time to study. As always, if you have a character you'd like to see next in one of these LEGO videos, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to make sure it happens. Oh, and make sure you mash that like button, please, for more DC lore, because it really does help me out a lot. Well, until we meet again, gamers, God bless and happy gaming. I'll see you in the next LEGO Batman 3 video.